Buenos días, estudiantes. Today we're going to talk about the conditional mood. And we don't talk a lot about moods, but the conditional really is more of a mood than it is a tense. Now, this can get confusing sometimes for English-speaking students, so I'm going to go over most of it in English with you, just so that you can get a feel for what's going on here. Now, just like in the future tense, in the conditional, there are only one group of endings. And those endings are ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, and ian. And the first letter, the I, in all of those forms has an accent mark. Now, I'm sure that you noticed that those are just the imperfect tense ER-IR endings. But what differentiates the conditional mood from the imperfect tense is that just like in the future tense, we don't take off the infinitive ending. We leave the AR, ER, and IR on the verb. Now, unos ejemplos. Viajar, normal AR verb. We leave the AR on the verb and we just add the ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian to the verb. And that's the conditional mood. ERs work the same way. Comer, normal ER verb. We leave it comer and we add the ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian to the end, and that makes this the conditional. Permitir. We leave it permitir, but we add the ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian onto the end of the infinitive. Now, I'm sure you noticed with permitir, the buenas noticias, the good news, that there are no stem changers in the conditional mood. They're all normal. They're all regular. All stem changers are regular in the conditional, just like they are in the future tense. Now, there are irregulars in the conditional, but they follow the same patterns as the future tense. The list of verbs in the future that drop the E in the infinitive ending. They're the same in the conditional. Instead of leaving the ER on the infinitive, you take the E out and then add the infinitive, the conditional endings. Caber, cabría, cabrías, cabría, cabríamos, cabríais, cabrían. And haber, and poder, and querer, and saber, they work the same. There's also the list that replace the E or the I in the infinitive ending with D. Like poner, take the E out of the ER, and it's pondría, pondrías, pondría. Salir is an IR verb, does the same, take the I out, and it's saldría, 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 and so forth. Tener, valer, venir work the same way. And then there's decir and hacer. Take the E and the C out of the infinitive, and decir is diría, dirías, diría. And hacer, to do or to make, is haría, harías, haría, and so forth. Even ser and ir are normal in the conditional. A ver, ¿cuándo usamos la condicional? When do we use the conditional? We use the conditional mood when, in English, we need to say would, but not in the past tense. For example, in English we use would two different ways. Sometimes we use would to mark the past tense, and when we do that we use the imperfect in Spanish. He would always help us. Anytime I can replace would with used to and it says the same thing, I know that that's going to call for the imperfect tense. So he would always help us, or he used to always help us, say the same thing. And in Spanish, it's just the imperfect tense. Él siempre nos ayudaba. But when would expresses a condition, we use the conditional. Would you help me? Now we know that's not the past tense. I'm asking you right now, would you help me? Me ayudarías? That's the conditional. Now, when we talk about the uses of the conditional, of course we use it to express a condition, like we just said. It could be, he would pay a lot for that truck, or he would pay a lot for the truck. Él pagaría, he would pay mucho por la camioneta. I'm just expressing a condition. He would do this. But the conditional also expresses wonderment or probability in the past. Now remember, the future talks about wonder or probability in the present, but the conditional talks about wonder or probability in the past. I wonder what time it was. ¿Qué hora sería? It was probably 1 o'clock. Sería la una. I wonder what they did. ¿Qué harían ellos? Now notice this one. Notice that the verb is not in the yo form. The I wonder part is just the conditional tense. Okay, or the conditional mood. The I wonder is just the conditional. Ellos are the ones who are doing something. They're the ones who are doing the action. ¿Qué harían ellos? I wonder what they are doing. So when we translate this between English and Spanish, in Spanish we don't have the words I wonder. It's just the conditional mood. I would go, but I have to study. Yo iría. The I would part is in the conditional. Yo iría. I'm doing the action, so I put it in the yo form. But yo iría, I would go, pero tengo que estudiar. Now, here's a good rule of thumb. The future tense is often used in conjunction with either the present or another future tense. But the conditional is normally used in conjunction with a past tense. Here's an example of present and future working together. He says, present tense, he will go, future tense. Dice, present, dice que iría. Iría, of course, is the future tense. He says that he will go, future. I know, present, that I will pass, future, the test. I know that I will pass the test. Sé, present tense, que saldré bien el examen. And here's the past and the conditional working together. He said, past, he would, conditional, go. Dijo que iría. Dijo que iría. He said he would go. They were sure, past, that it would, conditional, rain. Ellos estaban seguros que llovería. Now let's talk about some examples from the homework. In part A, we're just swapping out verbs. So you see the verb there in italics. Well, we're going to take the three verbs in parentheses that come after that, and we're going to put them in the same form in the conditional case or conditional mood that the verb in italics is in. Now, part B can be a little bit confusing. So here's what we're going to do in part B. We're going to change the infinitive in italics to the appropriate tense to fit the rest of the sentences, or the rest of the sentence. Here are some examples. For instance, anunciarán. Now that's the future tense. We remember that from our previous lesson. Anunciarán que la biblioteca abrirse a las 9. Well, what are we going to do with abrirse to make it work in the sentence? We're going to change it to this. Anunciarán que la biblioteca se abrirá. That's future. Or que la biblioteca se abre. That's present. A las 9. Because remember, the future is used with another future tense or with the present. So with abrirse, you can make it the future, you can make it the present. Either way, and the sentence will work. Now, in part B, we also find these kinds of examples. Colón creía, that's the imperfect, that's a past tense. Colón creía que descubrir, in italics, la ruta de las Indias. Well, we're going to have to change descubrir to make it work in the sentence. And so here's what we're going to do. Colón creía que descubriría la ruta de las Indias. We're going to change descubrir to descubriría, to the conditional. Because remember, the conditional is often used with the past tenses, the preterite and the imperfect. So that's what we're going to do in part B. We're going to change the verb, the infinitive that's in italics, to the appropriate tense to make it work with the rest of the sentence. Ahora, vayan a Google Classroom y hagan los ejercicios sobre la condicional. Buena suerte y nos vemos.